The Laci Peterson documentaries are back at the center of public attention following a new A&E special and another major court decision involving Scott Peterson. 5 prominent productions are currently being discussed, but they do not tell this case from the same point of view. Some prioritize Laci's family and friends. Others give Scott, his relatives, and his legal supporters extensive time to challenge the investigation. And the newest documentary presents arguments connected to a petition that a California judge rejected months before the program aired. So where can each documentary be watched, and which one offers the clearest place to begin? The newest entry is A&E's 2-part special, Scott Peterson, The New Evidence. It premiered on July 16 and 17, 2026, and is now linked for streaming through A&E's website and app. The production examines evidence and alternative theories advanced by people questioning the reliability of Scott Peterson's conviction, including claims involving reported sightings of Laci, a nearby burglary, disputed forensic testimony, and new scientific analysis. A&E describes the program as a re-examination through newly surfaced evidence, but that description must be separated from what courts have actually decided. Scott Peterson was convicted in 2004 of the first-degree murder of Laci and the second-degree murder of their unborn son, Connor. The California Supreme Court affirmed those convictions in 2020 while reversing his death sentence because of significant errors during selection of the penalty phase jury. He was later sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Reversing the sentence did not overturn the murder verdicts or declare him innocent. That legal distinction is especially important when watching the newest documentary. Scott has maintained his innocence, and the Los Angeles Innocence Project began representing him in 2024. Its lawyers later presented a third habeas corpus petition containing 14 claims, including an assertion of actual innocence and challenges involving witnesses, experts, and alleged suppressed evidence. On April 27, 2026, San Mateo County Superior Court Judge Elizabeth Hill denied that petition in full. According to the official prosecutor's summary of the 116-page decision, the judge found the claims procedurally barred, without merit or both, and concluded that much of the material was not new, admissible, or significant enough to support relief. The Los Angeles Innocence Project has said it intends to challenge that ruling in a higher court. The latest official district attorney release review for this video also said that a separate matter involving a juror bias claim remained pending before the California Supreme Court at that time. No later official ruling resolving that remaining matter was located during this verification. That means the litigation may continue, but Scott's convictions and life without parole sentence remain in effect. That brings us to the central viewing question: Scott Peterson. The New Evidence is not a neutral court decision presented on screen. It is a documentary investigation focused substantially on arguments challenging the prosecution's case. Former defense attorney Chris Pixley, retired detective Nanette Tuzby, and Scott's former lawyer Mark Garagos are among the principal participants. They question the original forensic analysis, the treatment of possible witnesses, and whether investigators adequately pursued alternative theories. A&E's own accompanying article also acknowledges that the April petition was rejected and that the project plans to appeal. For viewers seeking the newest defense-oriented presentation, this is the logical program to watch. For viewers unfamiliar with the original case, however, beginning here could create an incomplete picture because many of its strongest arguments are presented after decades of litigation and are disputed by prosecutors or rejected in prior rulings. The documentary is most useful when watched alongside a production that gives greater space to Laci, her family, and the original prosecution evidence. The most direct option for that perspective is Netflix's American Murder, Laci Peterson. Released in August 2024, the 3-part TV-14 series is currently available on Netflix. It includes a rare interview with Laci's mother, Sharon Rocha, as well as conversations with Laci's childhood friends and Amber Frey. Netflix's official description says the series examines Laci's 2002 disappearance and murder, while its companion coverage emphasizes the family's desire to keep Laci's identity and life from being overshadowed by the man convicted of killing her. That emphasis makes the Netflix series different from productions built primarily around Scott's legal challenges. Laci is presented as a daughter, friend, and expectant mother, rather than only the person at the center of a famous criminal case. Her mother and friends provide personal context, while the series also revisits the investigation. Scott's affair with Amber Frey, and the evidence used at trial. According to People, the participants hoped that retelling Laci's story could also encourage awareness of intimate partner violence. For a first-time viewer, American Murder, Laci Peterson is arguably the strongest starting point. That is an editorial recommendation rather than a factual ranking. It offers a compact 3-episode structure and places the victim and her family near the center before moving into later disputes about Scott's conviction. The second major A&E production is The Murder of Laci Peterson, released in 2017 around the 15th anniversary of Laci's disappearance. A&E's official page currently lists 1 season containing 6 episodes and provides streaming access through A&E. The series re-examines the circumstantial evidence, media coverage, and trial while featuring interviews with investigators, lawyers, journalists, Amber Frey, members of Scott's family, and Scott himself. Laci's immediate family did not participate. This series is longer than the Netflix production and spends more time examining questions raised by Scott's supporters. It is useful for viewers who want a detailed account of the investigation and the early post-conviction arguments, but its participant list affects the balance. Because Scott's family and legal team are extensively represented while Laci's family is absent, viewers should understand that the series does not offer equal first-hand access to both families. The next option is Peacock's Face to Face with Scott Peterson. The 3-part series premiered in 2024 and remains listed on Peacock as 1 season. Its defining feature is Scott's first extended on-camera interview since before his arrest. The episodes cover Laci's disappearance, the trial and conviction, and subsequent investigations and alternative theories. Peacock's official page makes clear that the program is structured around Scott telling his side through a series of interviews. That makes Face to Face valuable as a primary record of what Scott now claims, but it also requires careful viewing. A convicted person's interview is evidence of what that individual says and believes. It is not independent proof that the claims are accurate. The series includes law enforcement and legal context, but Scott's access and his supporters' continuing investigation are central to its identity. The timing also matters. Peacock's series arrived after the Los Angeles Innocence Project began working on Scott's case, but before the April 2026 denial of his 3rd habeas petition. Some questions that appeared legally open when the series premiered have since received an unfavorable ruling at the trial court level. The defense intends to keep challenging that result, but viewers should not watch the 2024 documentary as though no later court decision exists. The 4th production is Investigation Discovery's Scott Peterson, an American murder mystery. Released in 2017, it runs approximately 85 minutes and includes interviews with Laci's stepfather Ron Gransky, friends, investigators, and Amber Frey. Compared with the multi-episode series, it is the shortest conventional overview in the group and may suit viewers looking for a single-session recap of the investigation and trial. Its current streaming status needs a qualification. People's July 26 guide lists the documentary as available on Hulu. However, the Hulu title link redirected during verification to Hulu's general live TV page rather than a dedicated on-demand program page. Other current availability trackers were inconsistent, while Apple TV continued to display the title's program information without clearly confirming that it was included in a subscription. Availability may therefore depend on region, television package, or storefront, and viewers should confirm it inside their own Hulu or digital video account before relying on a hard platform claim. The 5th title is again the newest one, Scott Peterson, The New Evidence, and its arrival explains why older documentaries are receiving renewed attention. It asks whether witness accounts, scientific methods, and alternative suspect theories were properly evaluated. The court's April ruling reached a different conclusion from the documentary's central participants, finding that the petition did not establish a sufficient legal basis for relief. Both facts belong in any accurate summary. The defense continues challenging the conviction, and its most recent full petition was denied. So what is the most useful watch order? Begin with Netflix's American Murder. Laci Peterson for Laci's personal story, her family's participation, and a concise account of the original case. Continue with A&E's 6-part The Murder of Laci Peterson for a broader examination of the investigation, trial, and early challenges. Then watch Peacock's Face to Face with Scott Peterson to hear Scott's own current account. Finish with Scott Peterson, The New Evidence, because it presents the latest defense arguments and can be evaluated against the April 2026 ruling. The investigation discovery film works as a shorter alternative or additional trial-era overview. That sequence is not intended to tell viewers what conclusion to reach. It is designed to prevent the newest defense-focused claims from becoming the only frame through which the entire case is understood. True crime documentaries select interviews, evidence, and narrative emphasis. Watching productions with different participant access can reveal not only what each one includes, but what it leaves outside the frame. The start-line takeaway is that no documentary has changed Scott Peterson's legal status. He remains convicted of murdering Laci and Connor and is serving life without the possibility of parole. The 2020 California Supreme Court ruling reversed his death sentence because of jury selection errors during the penalty phase, not because the court rejected the murder verdicts. His latest major habeas petition was denied in April 2026, although his lawyers have indicated that further review will be pursued. What changed in July was the public presentation of the case. A&E gave the Los Angeles Innocence Project's arguments and supporting experts a new national platform shortly after a judge rejected the related claims. That tension is the real reason viewers are returning to the older series. The documentaries are no longer simply retelling a case from 2002. They are competing accounts of what the evidence means, whose voices receive priority, and whether continued media attention clarifies the record or makes it harder to see. For now, the clearest verified streaming options are Netflix for American Murder, Laci Peterson, Peacock for Face to Face with Scott Peterson, and A&E for both the murder of Laci Peterson and Scott Peterson, The New Evidence. The investigation discovery title is listed by People on Hulu, but its availability should be checked directly because the platform evidence was inconsistent during verification. And whichever documentary viewers choose, one point should remain central. This is not only a story about appeals, television interviews, or competing forensic claims. It began with the loss of Laci Peterson and her unborn son, Connor. A responsible viewing guide should explain the media without allowing the volume of coverage to erase the people at the center of the case.